Hello and welcome to our show. Welcome to our England v Iran match preview. It's our first preview of the World Cup. And I'm quite looking forward to it. Now it's edging there. Now it's edging close. So I'm really looking forward to the games kicking off and watching England and seeing what we can do in this tournament. So if you are new to the channel, subscribe, drop the video a like, and get involved in the comment section down below. And what we want you to do is put your England lineups in the comment section down below. So who do you feel like we're going to go with? What's going to be your team to face Iran? Justin, how are you? And are you getting a little bit more excited, or are you still a little bit like...
No, I am, yeah. Yeah, I think once the football kicks off, it'll be great because, you know, we've spoke about the timing and where it's at. We all know our feelings on that, but ultimately it's a football tournament, isn't it? And once that first game kicks off and then goals start flying in, hopefully, it's great. It is. It's good. I love it. I love watching the players that you've never heard of with the teams that you would never watch. I mean, is it Iraq? No, is it Qatar, Ecuador? Is it the first game? I mean, if that was on tonight, there's nowhere in the million worlds you'd be turning that on, wouldn't it, to watch it? But because it's on Sunday night, it's the first game of the World Cup. Everyone's going to watch it, aren't they? So it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, and I love watching the players that no one's ever heard of that you suddenly get thrust into the spotlight after a World Cup. I love those players.
Yeah, there's always a couple, isn't there? I remember, was it Jay Rodriguez at one of the World Cups?
The Colombian, isn't it?
Yeah,
James Rodriguez, yeah.
That's it. Absolutely smashed it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then did he go to
about
Real
three
Madrid
moves?
After that?
Yeah, got about three multi-million-pound moves and flopped everywhere he went in the end. I mean, he was a good footballer, to be fair, but it just shows that it's very difficult when you buy these players that have good World Cups because it's a very small group of times you're watching them, isn't it? So, yeah, it's a bit worrying if you're signing them just off the back of one World Cup. But, I mean, we know the household names, so they hopefully will all turn up. But there's always one little one to watch out for.
And then there's always a couple where you're really excited to watch them, aren't you, in the World Cup? And it just doesn't happen, does it? There's always a couple.
Yeah, it's funny, really, because you sort of sit back. Well, I always sit back and I look at the like the group stages, there's 2 or 3 games a day. So you're thinking, right, I'm going to watch that one because that looks a really good game. I'm going to give that one a swerve because it looks rubbish. And it's always the one you want to swerve that you turn on at 80 minutes and it's like 4-3, and it's an absolute like perler of a game, innit? And then the one that you can't wait for, like two big nations playing against each other, it's like 0-0, and you think, God, that was boring. So you just sort of have to, I sort of have to commit to watching as many as I can, I think. And I don't really want to miss the one that everybody talks about.
You know what I haven't got as well? I haven't got a wall chart yet.
No, I haven't actually. I've only got one up.
Anyone's watching this in the comment section, where can I get one from? Is it just like a newspaper or?
Yeah, there'll be one in the paper in the weekend. I reckon some of the papers on Saturday will have the wall charts in, won't they?
Yeah, so I kind of want to get one. I'm going to stick it here and we can just fill it out and just...
Fill it in as we go along.
Yeah, fill it in as we go along. So, right then. So, England v Iran. We'll start off with Iran first. I'm not going to come on research. I'm not going to come on here and pretend to be like an Iranian football guru who knows anything about him because I don't. I have not got a clue. But then before I went on air, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to have a look here at what their form's like. And you know what? They're not that bad. I think I've underestimated them, to be fair, because this little cheeky win they got here, 1-0 win over Uruguay and a 1-1 against Senegal, they're 2 big results there, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
They beat Lebanon 2-0. And I'm watching a bit of them, actually, because I'm watching that Captains on Netflix. And
yes.
I think they feature in it a little bit as well. So, so they've lost to Algeria and Tunisia. But, that bit of form there. Uruguay, Senegal, and that one. So
Nicaragua.
So they're not as bad as what I thought, to be fair. So you know, I imagine it's going to be a back to the wall job for them, and how England can break them down quickly and adapt to the heat. Because I saw that little video today of the training session where they're all putting their heads in that fan. I mean,
It's
they look
killer,
like they've
isn't
had
it?
12 rounds with Mike Tyson, some of them.
Yeah.
So
It's a
I
brutal,
think
brutal.
it's gonna be tough. You know, I really think it's gonna be tough, and it goes back to some of our predictions where we were saying that we feel like some of the South American teams. It just to me feels like a South American World Cup winner for me. But just in what's your initial vibe then? Do you feel like it's one of them where it's just going to be how long until we can break them down?
I think so. I mean, they've got a very experienced manager, Carlos Queiroz, who obviously knows all about the British game because he was at Man United, wasn't he? And he's managed some very, decent sides. He managed Real Madrid, I think. So he's no mug, is he? And looking at those results you've just highlighted there, a couple of standout results really against teams that we've spoke about of probably going deep in this tournament. Uruguay especially. So yeah, they're not. It's not going to be easy, but we should make it easy, I think, with the players we've got. So they're going to be up for it. It's going to be tough. You would think they're going to set them up to defend and to frustrate us, I would imagine. They're not going to try and go all guns blazing to try and win the game, are they? It depends it depends if they really think they've got a chance of qualifying from the group, I suppose. And if they do, then all three games are difficult, but the England one's the one that's the hardest. So I would think that if they can get away with a draw, they'd be over the moon and then try and beat the other two teams in the group. They've qualified 6 times the World Cup. I did look at that before I come on. And they've qualified for the last 2, so 2014 and 2018. So they've got a bit of history in it, to be honest. They're not going there as first-time qualifiers and, overawed on the big stage. So, there's a little bit of experience within the squad. I don't know how many players have carried over from the last World Cup that can give them that bit of experience and know-how going into the big games when they start. But, I mean, I fully expect us to win the game. I'll be very bitterly disappointed if we don't. But it might not quite be that as easy as it looks on paper, as these things normally are. And there's always one or two of these minnow countries, if you like, that shock the bigger nations in a World Cup, especially the group stages. So we don't want to be, on the end of one of those results, do we? So it's got to be a very solid, workmanlike, professional performance from England. And that's got Gareth Southgate written all over it, hasn't it? Let's be right,
So, this leads us on to 6 at the back.
Yeah, 6 at the back, 4 in midfield, and
No, right. Let's be serious now. So let's have a look then, Justin, at the team that. Well, let's do the ones obviously we'd go with, because I think we all know sort of what Southgate would go with. So here's mine, and then you give yours, then we can discuss each other's. Then in the comment section, put yours.
Do you want to just quickly talk about formations first before we go into it? Because I think in this World Cup, there's 2 ways he'll go. He'll go flat back 4 or a 3 at the back with wing backs. So I think depending on who he plays against, that's the 2 different formations I foresee us going forward. So I think this one for me is 4 at the back because I think he'll want as many attacking players on the pitch, hopefully. That's what I'm hoping anyway, as he wants. So 4 at the back for me on this one.
So just touching on that, I do think I would personally go 4 at the back.
Yeah.
But in his thinking, would he maybe think of going 5 at the back?
Sort of 3 with 2 attacking wing backs.
Because we've seen in the qualifier, and I've heard Southgate talk about how he has to approach different games, because I've heard him mention that when he comes in the qualifiers, when he knows he's going to be playing against a low block on the 18-yard box, it's how we break them down, which is quite difficult, isn't it, at times?
Yeah.
Would he view 5 at the back as more of an expansive way of dealing with that by having more out wide?
I mean, you're sort of relying more on your width then, aren't you, when you're playing 5 at the back, because your wing backs are where your outlet balls are, aren't they? But for me, I would favour, if I was manager, 4-2-3-1, because I think you're getting you're getting the stability of the back four. You're getting the two sort of double pivots, and we'll come on to who we think will play in these roles in a bit. And then you've got that freedom of the three behind Kane, who we all agree with is going to be the starting forward.
Yeah.
And I think those three in behind Kane, for me, in this game, would give us a better chance of opening up a team with a low block defensive strategy than two wing backs.
Yeah.
Potentially, because they'll probably more than likely maybe go five at the back. I don't know how he sets them up, to be honest, but you would think he'll go pretty defensive with five at the back. So you're just going like for like, really, that, aren't you? So if you go three behind the one, and then we'll almost hopefully be camped sort of in their final third then, and it's just about have we got the quality then to open them up, which we have, obviously, blatantly we've got quality players in the key positions. So it's interesting, but I would personally go with 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, I think that's the formation I'd go with. Whatever way you look at it, 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. I think they both would merge into the same type of thing of what I'd be looking for anyway. So I'll give my team, you give yours, and then we'll go through it. So in goal, I've gone Ramsdale. I've gone Luke Shaw left back, Stones and White as centre backs. On the right, I've gone Trent. Then I've gone with a double pivot of Declan Rice and Bellingham. I've gone with I've gone with in the sort of 10 role, Foden, with Grealish, Kane and Saka. And I think Grealish is crucial in this game because of his dribbling, because of how he can take players on. I think that's
commits players,
I think Saka can do the same. I think Foden, with his technical ability, could carve them open at will. The double pivot, I think that's our best two in there anyway. And I just think Trent, free kicks, attacking, I think, yes, he's defending. Maybe you'd have to look at maybe a Trippier if we come up against someone a little bit different. But I think for this game, I'd go with Trent. What are you going with?
I'm going to stick with Pickford in goal. I do like Ramsdale. I really do. I think he's probably the future of England in the next 2 or 3 years. He will eventually take over the number one shot. But you can't really argue with Pickford's form in the last two major tournaments. He's been absolutely outstanding, and he's a mainstay for Southgate. So I don't see that changing. I'll go with the back four. I'll go Luke Shaw, who's the only left-sided proper outlet on the left-hand side. So he comes in. John Stones is our best centre-half currently. I agree with you, Ben White, because I just can't bring myself to bring Gareth Dyer or Harry Maguire into this team.
We know who's going there. So
I'd rather play Connor Cody than either of them two as well. I'd probably rather play Luke Shaw at the centre-half, to be fair, than them two. Right back, I disagree with you on this one.
Yeah.
Mainly because Trent's form this season hasn't been nowhere near as good as it has been.
I think I've put Trent in because I really rate him.
You like Trent? Yeah, that's fair enough. So. Yeah. I
would disagree with Trippier.
Yeah, I just based on form alone this season, Trippier has been absolutely outstanding for Newcastle. And again, another one that hasn't let us down in the big games, in the big tournaments over the last sort of 3 or 4 years. Fantastic free kick taker, set piece, whips a lovely ball in from the right, defends fantastically well. He's one of the senior pros now in that England team. So for me, he deserves a shot at right back. He's played left back as well a lot for England, which is not his natural position. And I think with Shaw in at left back, it allows Trippier to flip over to his natural position. Lots of energy, gets up and down really well. He's a massive outlet as well. So I think for me, I would play him. And basically, the rest of the team is the same as yours, only I would have two proper pivots, double pivots with Bellingham, who can do everything, get forward, get back, defend, lovely on the ball, great to watch, got an eye for a pass, can score a goal. And then your proper sort of defensive midfield, Declan Rice, who again has been outstanding in the last couple of tournaments and has got a lot of big game experience now as well. Probably ready for a step up from West Ham, I would think, by the end of this season to one of the real outstanding teams in England, maybe even abroad. I think he's that good, and he's ridiculously young still as well. I think you forget how young Declan Rice is.
And then I would West Ham unofficial.
Yeah, sorry, mate, if he's watching. Yeah, if he's watching. And then a proper three in front of those would be Foden in the middle, and then Grealish and Saka either side with Kane up top. And I agree with you. I think the natural ball carrying ability of Jack, who's at his best when he does run at people and commits defenders towards him, which opens up spaces for players around him, which he hasn't massively done at Man City since his days at Villa. That was his real focal point with Villa, wasn't it? Give him the ball and let him run at people and draw people in, and then everybody else got lots more space. And with lots of Foden and Saka and Bellingham bombing on and Kane in the box, it's going to be a handful for even the best sides in this World Cup. So I don't envisage Iran being able to hold out for a long period of time without us creating a lot of chances and taking a few. So that's how I would set it up.
And me. Definitely. But that's the winning lineup. That's the winning lineup. So let's just have a little look then now, and we will just have a little look at some of the fixtures that we're looking forward to in sort of like the opening rounds then. So
Qatar, Ecuador, isn't it? It's the one that stands out there.
Yeah, 1-0, isn't it going to be?
Yeah, probably 0-0.
So any of these sort of really standing out to you?
Not yet. Germany, Japan. That's got a bit of an upset written on it,
Yeah, I like the look of that one. To be fair,
yeah, that's got a
next
possible.
One, Uruguay and South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea done well in previous tournaments. Portugal, Ghana.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That's a really good one. That is. And then I think that's it for the.
That's the opening ground. Yeah,
I think, and then the second time, that's a good one. Argentina, Mexico.
Yeah. I think the second round there's a few good ones. Yeah, there you go. You got Spain, Germany. Yeah,
that's the first blockbuster one, isn't it?
Crunch game. That one, isn't it?
That's a big one. And this one,
Portugal, Uruguay. Yeah,
Portugal have got a tough group, haven't they?
Yeah, I've heard a few people tipping Portugal to go deep in the tournament, and I might be totally wrong on this, as I am very often when I tip things, but I see them having a stinker, especially after what Ronaldo's done.
Yeah,
I can't think many people are going to be over enamoured with his the way he's gone about his work lately. So, yeah, I think they're going to need to hit the ground running quite quickly, Portugal. Otherwise, they could be one of the big boys that go out quite quickly.
Cool. So we'll round it up there then. That's our match preview for England and Iran. Don't forget, we'll be doing our watch along on Monday. So we'll probably be live from about 12:45. And in usual fashion, let's do our score predictions. I'll kick it off. I'm going 4-0 England, and I'm going with a Harry Kane hat-trick because I'm backing up what I said. Kane's going to get the golden boot, and he's going to get them goals early. Justin, what are you going with?
I think we could absolutely annihilate him. I think that's what he'll be looking to do. I'm going back on everything I've ever said about Gareth Southgate being boring and not going for him, but I think he will want a big performance in his first game, and I think that would almost, I wouldn't say nail qualification, but a nice 5 or 6-0 win would go a long way to seeing us through this group and give us a really banging start to the tournament. So plenty of goals, I think, is my prediction. 4, 5 or 6, I think. It's
nice that you've sort of took your Villa predictions now into like the England
predictions. Well, you've got to bring it on, haven't you?
So, there we go. So let's see. I've gone 4-0, and you've gone what? 5 or 6?
I'll go 6.
6.
Well, I break the habit of a lifetime.
So Justin's gone 6. And what we'll do is at the end of the
we'll see on Monday. Yeah,
we'll see who can get the most right. Then, yeah.
Okay.
So let me jot this down. 6-0, Justin. I've gone 4-0. Right. So what we'll do at the end of the World Cup, we'll see who gets the most predictions right.
Cool. I'll have a pound on with you.
Okay, right. So thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Drop the video a like and get involved in the comment section. Up the England.
Up the England.